Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Fresh Off the Set. I'm Alora Murray, and I am so excited to talk to Amanda. She is a food creator and a recipe developer for Cache Valley Creamery cheese and, in her personal life. And I'm so excited because I'm pretty sure cheese is my love language. So today we're going to talk about, summer schedules with kids. We're going to talk about snacks, how to keep your kids fed on the go during the summer, all those things. Amanda has the answer. Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to be here, and I am right there with you. Cheese is definitely my love language.
It was so when I was pregnant, I would walk through the kitchen and Chef Brian always had a slice of cheese ready for me. He had a slice of cheese.
He knew.
He had a slice of cheese and bread because he knows that those are my two love languages.
Oh, I love that.
Carbs and cheese.
I'm right there with you on that. I think it's great.
And kids love it too. And that's what we're talking about. Summer is just around the corner. Summer schedules are so easy. It can be hard to keep your kids fed. It can be frustrating coming up with recipes. Walk us through, like those busy summer schedules and what you have for us.
Yeah, it's just a different vibe that you're going through with summer. I always say, okay, summer's going to be real easy, but really you're kind of all over the place because there isn't that structure of school. So, you could be going to the park or you're going to hang out with friends or baseball practices or whatever. And so I just try to really set myself up for like quick on the go stuff, and especially things that like the kids can grab, whether they're running around to an activity or something, we can just keep it real easy. So I personally like to have like a snack drawer in my fridge, and I'll just have different easy to grab cheese snacks, whether those are string cheese or snack bars. And you can even have like cut up fruits and vegetables as well. Have them right there together so they can just grab it, because if it's more available to them, they're more likely to grab it, having it accessible and easy to see.
And I mean, it's going to be easier for them to eat an apple if it's cut. Yes. Ready to go than if they're like, I have to wash it, I have to cut it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it takes a little bit of time of prep, but if you just, when you come home from the grocery store, wash everything, get it all cut up and prepped, I am more likely to eat more fruits and vegetables and those healthy snacks as opposed to the other stuff that's not so healthy.
And I mean, how delicious is cheese, crackers, and an apple? Exactly. I mean, come on.
Well, and it's a nice, it's a hearty, I don't want to say healthy, but like a good meal or snack that everybody can have. And you make sure that they're not going to be hungry in 2 seconds because they just grab some bread or, some sugar or anything like that. Yeah. So, some of what I'll do is I will, like I said, wash and prep all those fruits and veggies ahead of time so they're ready to go. Or you can even use like sliced cheese too. I like to do that and roll it up with like deli meat or something. So it's kind of like a little snack for them to eat on the go as well.
And it's like a filling snack.
Yeah, definitely.
These are great tips for, busy moms in the summer, but also busy adults.
Yes. Very true.
Who are like, what am I going to eat? I don't know. So what are some product recommendations you have for this?
Yeah, Cache Valley Creamery has the string cheese, which I love. They also have the snack bars. Those are my kids' favorite because they're just a little bit easier, bigger, and you can unwrap them if you want. My younger kids, I'll unwrap them so they have them. It's easier for them to open, but they have them in a few flavors, and it's just really nice to pair along with like grapes or nuts or something like that. Yeah. And to be honest, sometimes in the summer, it's like you're going all the time. So there's not really a structured lunch, and you're kind of snacking. And this is a great way to get a hearty snacks all day long.
Well, and that's one of the fun things about summer is they're not in school and like structure, kind of goes out the window a little bit.
Yes,
but it's still, you're on the go, you're having fun, you're enjoying time with family. You don't want to worry about a million things. So you have those snacks ready to go that keeps you happy and your kids happy, win-win.
Exactly. Well, and they're individually packaged. So they're super easy to take on the go. You're not worrying about, grabbing a handful of shredded cheese or whatever. The snack bars and the string cheese, they're easy to throw into a lunchbox or a cooler bag or take in the car on the way, if you're headed to the water park or something like that.
Grabbing a handful of shredded cheese sounds just like a mess.
Yeah, I'm for it, but it is a little bit of a mess.
I could just see, I mean, my baby's just starting with solid foods.
Okay.
And I could see just a handful of shredded cheese everywhere. Delicious, but messy. So that's why we have the string cheese.
Exactly.
We've been talking a lot about snacks.
Yes.
And one of the things that, oh my gosh, I saw this idea of yours and I was just drooling because these are my favorite things ever. You talk about having summer lunches and snacks, kind of like a charcuterie style board.
Yes. Yeah.
You say the word charcuterie board and I am like, great, perfect, love it. I'm there. Talk to me more about this.
Yeah, I mean, I think our generation, we grew up on the Lunchables, so charcuterie
Yes,
is our
we
jam
did.
now. And
It's just a heightened adult version of Lunchables.
it's fun. It seems fancy. It's a great idea. Actually, one of my youngest daughter, she was at at her grandparents' house, my parents' house. They were babysitting her. And they're like, okay, what do you want for lunch? And she's like, well, can you make me a charcuterie board? And they were like, what?
They're like, you have very fancy taste.
I know. And I said, you know what, though? I said, I do it all the time during the summer because it's a great, easy way. They think it's fancy. They get to help pick out the different things, but I can include some fruits and veggies and things on there. And they think it's like this really fun, fancy thing. So,
And I mean, it really isn't that fancy because like we were talking about before, if you think about it, and kids too are such visual eaters. Yes. I mean, we all are. Yeah. We eat with our eyes before anything. It's just, having that out makes it look more fancy, like the cheese and the fruit and the nuts. You really just put that on a plate and you've got a charcuterie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like cutting strawberries into roses or anything.
Swans. That's what she's actually doing. She's
I'm
not
doing any any cheese origami, but just kind of stacking it. But it looks fun, and it's an easy way that they can do that. It help you and build their own lunches or snacks, and they love doing it. So,
I love it. What are some product recommendations you have for that?
Yeah, I mean, I think any of the block cheeses are good, and depending on their taste, I would go for like the more mild ones. Like my kids love the Colby Jack, mozzarella, or any of the cheddars. And what you can do is you can cut them into cubes. Yeah. So it's really nice because it's, especially like you were saying, your baby's just getting into salads. It's easier for them to pick up, obviously. And you can use those cheese cubes to come up with some little snack packs if you want. You can use them on the charcuterie board. You can also even just put them on like little skewers with grapes. And again, it's fun. And I think if they think it's fun and it's more appealing, then they're more likely to eat it. You know?
Absolutely, 100%. And even it's such an easy to go thing. You can take, a container and just put them in their sections. Yes. And it's like a charcuterie board on the go. Yes. It's colorful, it's fun. Pretzels, almonds, different things like that. And it's easy for them to snack on.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about them.
Well, and those like little bento style boxes, that have the different containers in them or sections in them are perfect for stuff like that. Everybody has those for sale now, and they're easy to throw stuff into it and then take it on the go wherever you're going.
I love it. And like I said, we do keep mentioning kids, but this is my favorite.
Oh, I still do it for myself. I mean, I may make them all one to go, but there is also one for me. Oh, yeah. Don't worry.
I don't think there's a meal in the day that I have that does not have cheese involved.
I know.
In some
It's really just like this like magical thing that you can add to any meal, and it just makes it better.
And I love how you say that because it truly is magical.
Yeah, it is.
A magical thing you can add to any meal. Summer is also a time for road trips.
Oh, yeah.
We've got road trips, and even if you're just in the car a lot, because you're going to and from places. So whether you're on trips, what do you do for your kids?
Yeah, I think, we do camping a lot during the summer and road trips of all different kinds. And so, it's a good way to get your kids involved. Sometimes it's hard having kids in the car or taking them on camping trips. And so what I will do is I'll take them to the store and say, hey, let's pick out what you like. And so the good thing about Cache Valley is there's so many different products. So they have the different types, but they also have the different flavors. So, I let them pick it out. My one son is very serious about his stash. He'll even write his name on his cheese with a Sharpie. Like, this is my cheese, so you can't have it.
That is a kid after my own heart. Yeah. Well, I know kids do that with Halloween candy.
Yeah,
but
no, he does it with his cheese.
It's fair to do it with your cheese. You don't want people taking it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, again, it goes back to letting them make those decisions. If you let them make those decisions and they have that ownership, then they're more likely to, they feel like they have some sort of control about it and they're excited, to eat it. So.
Oh, I love that. And I mean, honestly, speaking of, writing our name on cheese, I was in Cache Valley Creamery cheese came on and was with Chef Brian several weeks ago, and there was pepper jack cheese, and he kept it for me in the fridge. So I came home with just a block.
Doesn't everybody do that?
A block of pepper jack cheese. And I was like, you know what? Get yourself a friend who knows how much you love cheese and is just going to send you home.
Just saves you with a little stash for the ride home or
with a block of cheese.
After dinner snack, whatever.
Oh, I love that. So, I mean, we've talked about snacks for kids. I mean, we've talked about snacks for adults, how busy summer can be. What is a tip, if you gave an overall tip for parents who are stressed about feeding their kids during the summer, what would it be?
I think just try, giving them different flavors and different textures, just keep trying. Because sometimes, I have one daughter that's very particular about what she eats, and sometimes it's okay one day and sometimes it's not. And so just reintroducing those different flavors and textures all the time. You can start with more mild flavors, like I mentioned, the cheddar before. They have a mild cheddar, or even provolone. I have one daughter that really loves shredded cheese, and it's not the most portable, but that she loves that, for a snack. And so just giving them that chance to figure that out, what they like. And sometimes that's a process. And then you can pair it with different things, crackers or veggies or stuff that they do really enjoy, and they can, make little sandwiches or,
I love it.
They do stacks all the time.
I love it. And I know we've been talking about on the go things, but it's all been about cheese. So I have to know before we wrap up, what are some of your favorite summer recipes that include cheese?
I would say that my favorite summer recipes are anything on the grill, so sandwiches, burgers, that sort of thing. But we also love nachos. And I will just make a big sheet pan of nachos, and I do, the chips and some sort of meat on there, and then we load it up with cheese, and I melt it, and then everyone goes at it. We put it right in the middle of the table, and everybody can just go grab and go, and it works when camping too,
Yeah.
And you can add some extra toppings on the side, whether you like sour cream or olives or whatever, so people can kind of make it their own, and then it's like really easy cleanup too.
We love an easy cleanup.
Line that sheet pan with foil, and you just clean up any leftovers at the end.
And that's a fun activity for kids too, because really when it comes to food and eating, that's where a lot of memories are made.
Yes,
is around the kitchen table and eating and having them help you create this fun nacho platter.
Yeah.
And I mean, who doesn't love nachos? Again, carbs and cheese.
Yes. Well, and exactly. And the same thing too, when you're out and about and you're doing these trips and stuff like that, you may just be like on a road trip or camping, but like making those special moments around food, that's what they remember. Remember when we did that crazy thing where you dumped all those nachos on the picnic table outside our camper, and they love that. So
yeah, and it's the same memories. Like, do you remember when we were outside grilling during the summer? And even I smell a grill, and it reminds me of my dad.
Well, yeah, you don't just eat, with your mouth, you eat with all of those senses. And so creating those experiences, with the smells and the sights and the taste and all that stuff, it's stuff they're going to remember forever.
And what better way to create an experience than with cheese?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's that magic sprinkle on top that makes everything better.
Well, Amanda, thank you so much for coming in and giving us these tips. We have really appreciated it. I know there are parents out there who are truly grateful and cheese lovers out there who are rejoicing. Thank you so much for coming in. And everyone listening, remember to rate, review, and subscribe, and we will catch you next time.